What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hope everybody's doing amazing today. If you're catching us on the live, what is up? What is up? Let me just turn off this music. Hold on. Sorry, I had my music going on. Shout out to everybody catching this on the live. What is up? Gina in the house. If you're catching this on the replay, type in replay in the comment section down below. Yeah, what an amazing weekend. We are going to jump into a few things today. We have some more reports coming out of California. We're going to get into the California wildfire situation with the winds picking up. We have the insurance policy drops. We're going to jump into a little bit of that. We're going to talk about some Alex Jones. I like Alex Jones. I don't know if you guys like Alex Jones, but conspiracy theories tend to be right. We got a little Christie in the house. And then some more Gavin Nome news. And what else? What else we got on the docket? Oh, Vance resigning. And Ron DeSantis. So shout out. What is up, Michelle? Hope you're doing amazing. Ruth in the house. My mind. What is up? My mind. Hope you're doing amazing. All right. Let's, so this was a broadcast that was sent out on the radio waves in California. Before we get into that, though, I want to give a shout out to everybody that is catching this on the live. Everybody gets a round of applause. Shout out to the moderators in the chat as well. Let's jump into this. This was on the radio waves about the one and only DEI hire, Miss Bass.
The immediate recall of Mayor Karen Bass due to her gross mismanagement and failure to effectively respond to the devastating 2020 fires. In the wake of these catastrophic fires, our city has been left in crisis. Water supplies have been severely strained. Billions of taxpayer dollars have been misallocated or left unaccounted for, and countless lives have been lost. Families have been displaced, homes destroyed, livelihoods shattered, yet Mayor Bass has been absent from the front lines, choosing to travel abroad while her constituents suffer. Despite the tireless efforts of our first responders, the city has been woefully unprepared to ensure the safety and well-being of its residents. Basic resources such as water and emergency services have been inadequate, and leadership has been nowhere to be found when it was needed most. We demand the immediate resignation of Mayor Karen Bass due to her failure to lead during this unprecedented crisis. It goes on. I'm signing the petition right now during the commercial break, and let's put a link on our website for it, because I think everybody, it's not only for residents of LA.
Fire victims also on.
There is an active petition going on to have Miss Bass resign. And I think there's quite a few signatures on it. I haven't looked at the signature count, but last time I checked on it, there was quite a few signatures on it. What is up, Alan? Hope you're doing amazing. Deborah, what's up from Indianapolis in the house? But there is a lot of signatures on this to have her forcefully resign. It is crazy to me that she was on a trip to an African inauguration for the African president during the time that these wildfires have went on. And then she did an open tweet or X the other day where she was kind of smiling and smirking. And I don't know if it was because she had some Botox done or whatever the situation was, but it did look like she was smiling. Let me actually pull that up. I didn't have that prompt up, but I'm sure you guys have seen it, but I want to share this with you real quick. Let's see. I think it is actually in this. Oh, here it is right here. Here it is right here. I did have it prompt up. And you guys tell me if she looks like she's smiling or not. Her city, LA, is in flames and she's smiling. I don't know if it's the Botox. I don't know if that's just her way that she deals with social anxiety. I don't know.
Any of you and all of you that have experienced a loss, the grief, the anger, the just utter shock. I've seen the devastation. It is unbelievable the amount of loss that people have experienced. But we have to get through this crisis, and I know that we will. I was at the Sylmar command post today, and I saw the work of our first responders and how they've been able to defeat the fires in certain areas. We know we still have much more to go, and we know the winds are going to kick up again. But
now, you guys in the chat are saying, yeah, she's smiling. Why the heck is this woman smiling? Why is she smiling here? My mind says she looks like the Joker smiling. Which Joker? Heath Ledger Joker? Yeah, I think she's more resemblant of a Heath Ledger Joker. Sally says, yeah, she's smiling. She is crazy. Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Rob, I 100% agree. Michelle Murphy says, Rob, I 100% agree. Her energy is very off-putting, in my opinion. It really is. She's her and Gavin Newsom, both of their energies are very off-putting. They seem very manipulative. They seem very manipulative. They seem like they don't really give a crap about what's going on. Big Nick all day. Big Nick all day says she's grinning oddly. She is. Yep. Now, I don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. Nobody has taken accountability over these actions. Nobody has taken accountability over the fires. They're all finger pointing. They're all doing all the things that they shouldn't be doing. They should be taking accountability over this situation. Meanwhile, I had mentioned this on a previous show that insurance companies have been dropping people in California over the course of the year. And a lot of people didn't have homeowners insurance because California didn't agree to these premiums. What is up, Brandy?
And empty when the fire started. And now the state's going to probe it. Don't you love that? And the insurance commissioner who is overseeing this absolute insurance disaster where all of these major insurers were basically pulling out of the state has said, put a moratorium on now canceling or not renewing, I said not renewing policies or not writing new insurance in these fire-prone areas. Let's look at that California, because of essentially stringent rules and regulations, they pay 36% less for insurance, home insurance, than the national average. Can you imagine that? Florida, Jason, pays almost 4 times more in home insurance because they have essentially put price caps on insurance and prohibited insurers from using risk modeling to price their premiums in that state for almost 40 some odd years. And now they're going to ask, nobody's without insurance. If you got dropped by your insurer, you had to go to the insurer of last resort at the state. We're not.
Which the insurer of the last estate generally is fairly more expensive. Those of you that this has happened to me. I personally have lost car insurance or let it lapse, and then you are left with only 1 or 2 options, which are significantly more expensive. What is up, Rob? Hope you're doing amazing. Good afternoon to you.
Not coming in as federal taxpayers and covering people who had the option to get insurance. If you didn't have insurance, that is on you.
Yeah, people should have to learn through these experiences. Look, again, I think there's a federal backstop on some of these experiences, but FEMA to say for the president, the outgoing president to say, oh, they're going to pay 100% of expenses. You don't think there's going to be waste, fraud, and abuse in that? Are you kidding me?
Significant waste, fraud, and abuse, 100%.
me.
And did we hear that promise on North Carolina, by the way?
I didn't hear that or see that
After
visit.
Helene?
How about East Palestine? I didn't really see the president get up and get there real quick either.
Curious.
Do you want to get to jobs? All right, let's talk about the jobs report released yet again.
All right, Brandy said, if I heard correctly, yes, they canceled thousands of policies in November, but there is a law that there is a loss due to wildfires, etc., and insurance still has to cover them for up to 2 years. Interesting. Yeah, that is, I'm not sure about that. I would have to look that up, but it's sad. It's sad. Actually, I have a buddy that was affected by the hurricane in Florida, and he had an insurance policy for flooding and hurricane, yet he still had to come out of pocket initially to do the initial remediation of his home, which had 4 to 5 feet of water in it, and he had to come out of pocket about $10,000-$15,000 to at least get the situation started, to get the property handled. And then he received a reimbursement check. Unfortunately, some people, they don't necessarily have that. They don't have that ability to do that. And a lot of these people lost their livelihood. And I don't want to beat this up with the dead hammer, or a hammer on a dead horse, but it's just, some of these folks won't even be able to rebuild. Jenny Ann says, many are uninsured. I hope they're able to rebuild. The situation is dire. Yes. I know in the state of Nevada, particularly in Las Vegas, some of the hotels and casinos out here are offering discounted rates for individuals to stay for up to 4 weeks in the hotel or casino at a discounted rate. I know that doesn't do much if you lost everything, but at least it gives you a place to stay. Just Mary says, every year Santa Ana winds come through. They should have known this. People build homes in the mountainside. Should have expected this. Yep. And I was having a conversation with an individual yesterday regarding the Malibu coast specifically. Those homes, the Coastal Commission, I'm not even sure if the Coastal Commission will allow some of those individuals that were on the Malibu coast to rebuild because of the new regulations. So I'm not even sure if they're going to be able to rebuild. My mind says, do you believe this will reach $1 trillion disaster? The fires aren't contained yet. I don't know. I don't know. That is a good question. Just Marie says, Democrats don't care about people, still vote them in. Yeah, they did. And I don't know if there's particular election fraud going on. There is. Presumably. There's something going on. There's a reason why those guys are still in office. Anyways. Let's jump into this real quick. What is this?
Hydrants are simple.
Oh, this is the report on the fire hydrants and the water reservoirs being empty, and the politicization of this here. Almost fumbled those words there. Gosh.
Have had no water in them. And this has been widely reported. And the Wall Street Journal also reported that the smelt fish water protections led to billions of gallons of water being flushed out to the Pacific Ocean each year, along with chronic water shortages. The Wall Street Journal reports, and I quote, that Mr. Newsom opposed Mr. Trump's first-term efforts to ease the fish protections. They write, you can lead California progressives to water, but you can't make them think. But when you can't deal with questions about why fire hydrants are empty, why a reservoir was empty, why there isn't enough water supply, well, of course, just blame misinformation. And the left media is upset that Facebook and X won't help them censor the shocking truth. Now that Mark Zuckerberg is on the same page as Elon Musk in ending the so-called fact-checking, it's really censorship in disguise. California's mismanagement is not a surprise, and it's not isolated to the area of fire protection. It extends to drugs, crime, homelessness, petty theft. And there's a sensational New York Post editorial about this. It says, with a Democratic governor, Democratic mayors, Democratic city councils, and a Democratic justice system, the progressives have darkened the land of perpetual sunshine. This week's devastating wildfires are the pinnacle of Democratic incompetence. Environmentalists and politicians refuse to clear the underbrush that fueled the flames. A reservoir in Pacific Palisades was shockingly closed for repair. This is a reckoning. The voters must demand total change. Democrats have enjoyed one-party rule in California for too long. And there is no one else to blame for what has happened. California is not paradise lost. California is paradise squandered. The people must take it back.
The people must take it back. There is a lot of looting going on right now in California. People were looting houses. People were dressed up like firefighters and individuals that are, presumably looking to help, and they were looting houses. There have been reports, Jenny Ann points this in the chat here, shout out to Jenny Ann, that reportedly Kamala Harris's home in Brentwood got looted. It's bananas. Well, this is what you get. This is what you get when drugs reign rampant, when if you steal anything under $1,000, there's nothing happens to you. This is what happens when you become a sanctuary city. Of course, looting, destruction is going to happen when these natural disasters occur. These people are coming in, they're just stealing, they're taking everything that they can during people's during this crisis, if you would. Jenny Ann says California they got to get it together. They got to get it together. So yeah, I guess, Kamala Harris' home was looted. Oh, I don't mean to laugh, but golly, this is what you get. That's what you get when you vote these people in. Just Marie says Newsom is worried about misinformation about him. Yeah, he is. He is. And it's interesting because we're going to get into that here in a little bit. Yeah, we'll get into that here in a minute. Here. I was going to go on a tangent here. But anyways, I was watching Alex Jones a little bit ago, and he was talking about the California's inability. Same thing with Lahaina. They didn't cut back the bush. They didn't cut back these trees that were growing near power lines. And then what happens is these trees grow around these power lines. These fires start. Then the trees catch on fire. Then the power lines catch. They explode. And then they still don't cut off the power. Listen to this.
California, decades around the power lines, or 7 years before the fire in Maui. You got to leave the power on too, or it doesn't ignite it. And they're so inept, they didn't trim the power lines for decades in LA and decades in every other blue city. Look it up. Official policy. And they're so inept, they didn't trim them in Lahaina. And then they were so inept, they left the power on in both places. And then in both cases, a few years ago and this last week, in California, they come out when we first reported it and said the power lines were not left on. And then we get all the footage in Hawaii and in California of them on catching the fires.
And I am muted. I was muted. I was muted. My bad. So Alex Jones says they left the power on. Just to reiterate what Alan was saying, he said I don't think. I wonder if they're going to let them rebuild in Malibu next to the Coastal Highway. I personally don't think that they're going to allow them to rebuild on Malibu on the Coastal Highway. Thank you. Shout out to you guys. You guys are the bomb. You guys get a hand clap for that, for letting me know that I was muted. I don't think they're going to let them rebuild. I personally don't think that they're going to rebuild near the Coastal Highway. I don't. So, all right. I lost my train of thought here. Oh, okay, here. Christie was caught at the airport. A reporter asked him about Gavin Newsom. Here's what he had to say, and then we're going to jump into a video that just dropped right before I hit this live here.
How you doing, Governor Christie? Governor Christie, is Governor Newsom, is he in trouble right now? Is it? Can you handle something like this before?
You know what?
Yeah.
You gotta communicate the truth to your people and let them know how you're gonna fix the problem. If he does that,
He can overcome
he's
it.
doing his job.
Okay.
If he doesn't, he's God.
Right. Do you think the people are going to forgive him at some point after all they've gone through?
We're a very forgiving country.
Okay. Thank you so much, Governor.
I don't know if the people of California are going to be able to forgive this guy, Gavin Newsom. I personally don't think so. The complete mismanagement of this, ridiculous. I know a lot of celebrities, a lot of Holly weird folks, a lot of people in the Palisades are completely upset about the utter mismanagement about this. And, every time I see Christie, he reminds me of the main character in a Stephen King movie called Thinner. Anyways, that's just a little side note there. I don't know if you guys seen. Debbie says, "Is that a hamburger in his?" Y'all great. You guys are great. He walks like a penguin. Oh man. Hey, what do you expect? These I don't know. You already see his situation. Jenny says, I agree with you, Tyson. California folks will not be able to forgive Gavin Newsom. Unless he totally turns it around and says, yo, it was my fault. It was my fault that this happened. It was my fault that these things happened. I'm not pointing blame. We got to figure out how to resolve this issue. Then I think that would remediate some of his reputation. But as of right now, he is just doing finger pointing. He's just pointing fingers. He's not taking accountability. And it's really sad because we know that Gavin Newsom, once a presidential candidacy election for 2028. He wants to potentially run for president. I think all of that is washed away if he continues on this path, and I don't think people will forgive him. I do not think people will forgive him. I seriously do not. This will be a tarnish on his reputation forever, just to add to the greasiness and sliminess of Gavin Newsom. Gina says, I don't understand why they're always on fire out there. We have a lot of woods here in Pennsylvania. We never have fires like that. I don't understand. Well, just to kind of reference that, California, things get dry. Like the trees will fall down because they have these beautiful hillsides where trees would grow. Some of them would fall over and it would just get completely dry. And then all those things kind of pile up. The leaves, the debris, all of that piles up. And then if something sparks, because California is predominantly hills, those things just catch on fire like a freaking, like a tinderbox. Anyways, here is Christie ripping Gavin Newsom.
Governor Christie, welcome back.
Good to be back. Happy New Year, Brian.
Governor, one of your great qualities is how well you act in the clutch. When Sandy hit, people saw the results. You were hands-on. If things went wrong, you were sitting right there. You saw it. You demanded accountability. It's one of the things I'm not seeing from California. And I know you know Gavin Newsom. And I've never seen anything like it. He basically says, yeah, that's pretty bad. I got to find out what happened, as if he's not the governor of the state.
It's an enormous failure, Brian, and an enormous disappointment for the people of California, and now a tragedy for all those families that have been affected. And when you're the governor of a state and a natural disaster happens, there is no one more accountable than you. There can be no one who the public is relying upon more than you. And you can't sit there and say, geez, what about, I don't know, let me find out. You have to be on top of it right from the beginning. These fires started. We knew they were coming. We knew they were expanding. And for him not to know and to go in there and take charge. I mean, look, when Sandy happened, we had problems from all different types of municipalities that were affected. We took it over. We managed the crisis, and that's what a governor is expected to do. And his failure to do that, but more importantly, his failure to communicate with his people and let them know what's going on, what can be done, what will be done. These are people without homes, are now sitting, looking for a place to live. This is just what happened in Sandy. We got people places to live. We did what we needed to do. He's not doing it, and he's going to be judged very harshly for it.
Yeah, but not him. He's going to judge other people. He's doing an independent investigation. Listen to this question and the answer. Cut 17.
Ultimately here, does the buck stop with you?
I mean, you're governor of California. You might as well be the mayor of California. We're all in this together. We're all better off. We're all better off. We're all better off. And we're working together to take care of people and to make sure people are supported. We're empathetic. And we're here not just in the immediacy of the crisis, but we're here after the crisis, as opposed to creating a crisis in the middle of this by trying to divide people and play political.
So can you help me with this? I'm bad at comprehension. Does the buck stop with him? What did he say?
It's a complete word salad because he's trying to avoid responsibility and accountability. And let me tell you, if you want to avoid responsibility and accountability, don't run for governor. Being governor is all about responsibility and accountability. And he avoided it. He was kind of sideways blaming the mayor. He was also taking a shot at President-elect Trump. This is not the time to play partisan politics. You know, the fact of the matter is, Gavin Newsom is going to need President-elect Trump in 7 days and in the days to follow to help the people that he represents recover from this crisis. And taking political shots at Donald Trump is not the thing to be doing at this point as a responsible governor. No matter how Gavin Newsom feels about Donald Trump, that doesn't matter. The American people have elected Donald Trump to be the president, and it's your obligation as the governor to work in good faith with him, not to take political shots at him. So that is a complete lack of accountability and credibility, and quite frankly, Governor Newsom should be ashamed of himself.
So,
there it is, right? Jenny Ann says they should have listened to Trump. They needed forestry management. They did. And back during President Trump's first term, he warned Gavin Newsom about his lack of forest management. And recently, when Donald Trump was on the Joe Rogan podcast, he also mentioned that they still haven't done anything regarding forest management. They're more focused on homelessness and sanctuary cities, illegal immigrants, and the homeless crisis. Gavin Newsom is on his 10th year, 20th year of, this is sarcastic by the way, 20th year of homelessness management out of his 5-year plan, still continuing to ask money for homelessness and hasn't solved a darn thing. Those of you that live in California know that it is a complete crap show. It is, nothing has been done.
Governor, before I knew you in 1992, I was out in California, and I was just living in a one-room apartment, and it burned to the ground. Lost everything, but I had nothing. I had no family, wasn't married, and it was fascinating because I saw the whole process, and we had no cell phones. There were no cell phones, period. So 92. So you had to run around, you had to meet people at central locations, you had to find out what you were eligible for, then you had to see what discounts you could get at the Gap or Sears were offering, and you literally were trying to rebound and find out where to go. And you need people on the same page. And we were able to communicate, it's hard to believe, effectively, but there was organization. I never felt like it was unorganized as everything burned to the ground and it stayed like that for about 10, 15 years. It is so important right now to let people know they get $44,000, to let people know what you could put towards, if you live paycheck to paycheck, and all of a sudden someone says, I need first and last for you to stay there for 6 months, where's that money coming from? You must have dealt with that. How did you get the information to all these people in these dire circumstances?
Every day, Brian, we did 3 press events a day. Some from our emergency operations center in Trenton, but 2 a day on the ground in a place that had been affected, so that people could hear from us directly in those local communities. We would bring FEMA representatives with us to those events.
So what Christie is saying, hey, we did press events. Meanwhile, Gavin Newsom is doing podcasts politicizing this situation. Michelle says, I lived in California early 2000s, close to Yosemite National Park, which, by the way, is heaven on earth. Yosemite is actually very, very beautiful. They used to do controlled burns. I don't think they've done controlled burns for a very long time. They used to do those. I remember that. They used to do those quite a bit. Michelle says, it's a shame and very sad to see the beautiful state of California be destroyed. Prayers go out to those who've lost their livelihood, their homes, and families. 100%. Amen to that. Amen to that, Michelle. Amen to that. So meanwhile, while Christie is saying, hey, we did press events, we talked about where these people can get information regarding help. Gavin Newsom is doing podcasts. And this was a very interesting interview that he did with Fox. And he said something very interesting. This is a 20-second clip here. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on this.
We're dealing with a myriad of issues. I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just.
I'm going to rewind that because some of you might have not caught that.
Has around speculators coming in, buying up properties.
He talked and had a conversation regarding speculators coming in and purchasing land. Speculators are individuals that normally purchase properties. They build, either they redo, they flip the property, and then they turn it over. This is interesting that he even had this conversation and even mentioned this, because a few interviews ago, he had mentioned that they're looking to rebuild LA to LA 2.0. We know that we got the 2028 Olympics coming to LA. We know that LA is a very high density area and they need high density housing. What is he doing? You know, is he looking to sell some of these pieces of land off? I personally think that might be the case. I think it's going to be heavy regulations going across the board to get these homes rebuilt. I think these people are going to fall out. They're not going to, it's going to be a 3-5 year situation where individuals aren't going to be able to rebuild. They're not going to have the money to rebuild. And then speculators, builders, new construction are going to come in, and then they're going to develop Los Angeles 2.0. This is why I titled and put con job on the thumbnail of this video, because this guy, we know, like, if you bring in high density housing, tax dollars go up. That's just the name of the game. Tax dollars go up when you put in high density housing. And unfortunately, there's individuals that lost their single family homes, and I don't think they're personally going to be able to rebuild.
In Hawaii, you had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward. And
to move those things forward. Just Marie says, the permits will prevent the poor from rebuilding their homes. Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, yes. And it's sad. And Alan says he looks happy. This whole situation is bananas. You know, if we look back at Maui hasn't rebuilt. We see how slow and gruesome the process is for that. People in North Carolina, my prayers go out to them, and I say that all the time because my prayers do go out to them, because they're in the middle of winter and they're living in tents. Finding Dory says, land grab planned. Yeah. I think so too. Donna says, what the hell is he grinning about? Why is he smiling? Why is he smiling? He's happy. Yeah. There hardly any of those folks in Maui have been able to rebuild. It's been a while. After that video, I wanted to jump into this because Gavin Nome was talking about misinformation, this, that, or the other thing. And I'm going to share this video, and he directs folks to go to a particular website. So
that you guys are really helping out, that you're just coming here for the cameras and not really giving any solutions. So what do you have to say to us?
Well, we've been 4 days, little sleep on the lines, all around the region, 5 different fires. We're heading back around the Eaton fire. We've been working with FEMA to get the disaster assistance out, individual assistance, small business loans out, putting up websites, getting these disaster recovery centers open. making sure we continue to keep people safe. We're still in active fires. We're still recovering bodies, up to 13 folks dead. We're trying to keep people safe from looting of 1,680 men and women in uniform from the National Guard. And we're concurrently focused on recovery and making sure people that have lost everything have something, not only in the short run, but that we're there for in the medium and long run.
And how short of a run are we talking about? The help needs to happen now. What kind of help are we talking
immediate assistance that's being provided.
With the FEMA, you mean?
Quite literally immediate. And we encourage people that have access to technology to go to disasterassistance.gov.
Okay, so he directs folks to go to this website, disaster.gov. So Gavin Newsom launches a webpage he says is to combat bad information spreading about wildfires. This article was posted January 11th, so a few days ago. Gavin Newsom launches a website to combat misinformation. Now, when we go to the website, here is the website. Let me make this larger. Here is the website. Okay. Now, look at the URL on this particular website is Gavin Newsom. It gets redirected to gavinnewsom.com/California-fire-facts/. Now, this to me looks like a political website. Has his tweets on here, yada, 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 yada. Then you scroll up here and it says donate to Cali Fire Foundation. You click that and it goes here. Campaign for Democracy. Donate to California Fire Foundation. And I want to share this URL with you guys because this goes to actblue.com. Actblue.com is a political campaign or political organization for the Democratic Party, the Democrat Party. Why would you donate to Act Blue for California fires? If any of you are going to donate or provide any type of resources, go directly to either church organization, nonprofit organizations directly located in those areas, not Act Blue. This is actually a PSA. This is a public service announcement, y'all, because if you're going to donate anything, do not donate anything located on a Gavin Newsom website or an Act Blue website. I'm telling you, these guys are crooked. Finding Dory says, we will rebuild. Sure, 15 minutes. Smart cities, sheep being lied to slaughter. Ursula says, oh my God, profiting on the loss of others. How despicable. This is gross. Hey, we're going to combat misinformation. I advise you to go here. It's very reminiscent to the Black Lives Matter movement and the Vegas Strong movement, where hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people donated to these foundations, where they didn't actually help effectively fight the situation that was going on. Deborah H. says, money laundering 101. Yep. This is super disgusting. Gina says it's really gross. It is. This directly goes to an Act Blue website. So, and he's on air publicly saying this stuff. It's crazy to me. So anyways, if you're donating, do not donate to gavinnewsom.com. Do not go to any, what's the website that he said to go to? Whatever it is. Don't even listen to him. Go directly to nonprofit centers, churches that are located in California. Those are the individuals that are actually going to help. Next story that we got to jump into is J.D. Vance resigning. J.D. Vance officially resigned last night. 2 nights ago, excuse me.
Now, Vance resigned at midnight from the Senate effective today as he prepares to become vice president.
And now it's up to Governor DeWine to appoint his replacement. Now, 10 TV political reporter Doug Petcash joins us live in studio now with an update on the governor's decision.
Well, Yolanda and Angela, Governor DeWine says he will have an announcement probably next week. And here's what I can tell you about what we've learned today. Vance sent this resignation letter, to the governor yesterday, saying he was resigning from the Senate effective today. DeWine attended a dinner with 21 other Republican governors last night, hosted by President-elect Trump at Mar-a-Lago in Florida. In a clip from C-SPAN, a reporter asked DeWine about replacing Vance. Here's what the governor said.
We certainly have been working on this for some time, and I'll have an announcement probably next week. I'm looking for someone, first of all, who will be a worker in the U.S. Senate. I spent 12 years there. I think I have a pretty good idea what it takes to be successful. I want someone who understands Ohio, who has a deep knowledge of our state.
DeWine also said it has to be someone who is willing to run in 2026 in a special election, and then again 2 years later when Vance's term would have been up. The governor did not get into who he is considering for the Senate seat.
J.D. Vance officially resigns from the Senate because we know that he is taking the official seat of Vice President of the United States. Shout out to everybody that went out and voted on November 5th, that absolute mandate that happened on November 5th. We got JD in the house and we got DT in the house. Next story, Ron DeSantis calls for a special session to enforce Trump's deportation policies statewide. Throughout the United States, some of these sanctuary cities and sanctuary cities, are looking to block the deportation of illegals. And this is Ron DeSantis' presser on the support of the deportation of that.
Have a responsibility to be in this fight. State and local officials in Florida must help the Trump administration enforce our nation's immigration laws. And we are going to need, in order to do that effectively, we are going to need legislation to impose additional duties on local officials and provide funding for those local officials. There also needs to be measures to hold people accountable who are violating our anti-sanctuary policies. And then Florida needs to make sure that we don't have any lingering incentives for people to come into our state illegally. So therefore, I'm going to call the legislature into special session starting the week of January 27th. We have the next president taking office January 20th. We anticipate executive orders to be issued immediately after the swearing in and the inaugural address. We're going to have some time to process to make sure we're doing what we need to do, but then we need to act, and we need to act quickly. We don't have time to waste. The American people spoke very clearly of all the issues out there, and there were a lot of very important issues. This issue of the border and illegal immigration was one of the top issues in the 2024 election, and has been one of the top issues that we've had in this country for.
Ron DeSantis officially backs the deportation of illegal migrants. With the incoming border czar, Tom Homan, and the incoming president-elect, number 47, Donald Trump. Guys, these wildfires are crazy. It looks like the winds are supposed to pick up. They were saying that winds are supposed to pick up in the next couple days, up to 70 miles an hour regarding the winds in California. Potential rain. This might lead to some mudslides and debris. It is crazy. Linda says California will wind up with homeless everywhere, just like Pelosi ruined San Francisco. Yo, have you guys been to San Francisco lately? Any of you guys in the chat, have you guys been to San Francisco lately? Julie Jordan says Newsom reminds me of Ken Barbie doll, worthless. Oh, man. November 5th was so much fun hanging out Yes, it was. Those of you that attended the election night, that was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I had so much fun doing that. That was such a great time and it was such a memorable moment personally for me to have you guys and to share that moment with you guys. It was super awesome. So I'm going to give you guys another round of applause for that. Jenny says, mudslides. Oh, no. Yep. Finding Dory. What's up, Finding Dory? Hope you're doing amazing. San Francisco is so dangerous. San Francisco is very dangerous. I think I shared this story before on a video, but those of you that are new, my dad lives up in Tracy, California. So that is about 45 minutes to an hour away outside of Oakland, which is also a complete crap show. I flew into Oakland to go visit my dad, and I rented a car to drive up to Tracy. And I just had a carry-on, a backpack. I rented a car, which was crap, by the way. The rental cars are crap over there. And I had the backpack in. I was leaving the rent-a-car place. And the lady checking me out to go through the gates from the rent-a-car place, she says, hey, just heads up, don't leave your bag in the back seat. Make sure you put that in the trunk. She literally says this to me. And I was like, oh, it's that bad? She was like, yeah, they'll smash and grab. That's just what they do in San Francisco. Thomas says, Walgreens is closing every store it has in San Francisco. Walgreens, what's up, Thomas? Walgreens, In-N-Out's closing. They're like, we're losing money. These people are getting robbed at In-N-Out. They're closing everything. Yeah. Tracy is just north of Stockton. Yeah, I flew into Oakland and then drove up to Tracy. Anyways, but wow, that bad. New York City is bad too. Yeah, New York City's bad too. I heard Chicago's not looking any brighter either. Deborah H says, minimum wage too high in California. Yeah, I personally wouldn't want to live in California. Such a beautiful place, but it's just gone downhill. It has gone downhill. Anyways, I want to give a shout out before I jump off. I want to give a huge shout out to the moderators in the chat. Give a round of applause to the moderators. And I also want to give a huge shout out to those individuals that are live on the chat. Shout out to everybody. Some of the best moderators, some of the best chat on the YouTubes across the board. And if you're catching this on the replay, type in replay in the comment section down below. And also, if you're catching this on the replay, let me know what you think about Gavin Nome. Greasy, sleazy, weaselly. I think I just rhymed. Greasy, sleazy, weaselly, Gavin Nome, and these wildfires that are raging rampant and hardly contained in California. Let me know what you think about Christie talking about the complete mismanagement of California. Drop that down in the comment section down below. And smash the like button if you kindly would. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. And I am going to jump off. Shout out to everybody in the lives. Other than that, I will catch you guys on the next one. We'll catch you guys later on today. Chat soon, guys.